Hello and welcome to Ion Port, the program that brings the port activities very close to you and bring you also close to the port activities. And this week, folks, you can see right behind me, we are at the expansion site of the TEMA port. Now, this is where by June 2019, the port of TEMA would have been extended all the way to 2 berths will be ready by then working, and the rest of it will be ready also by 2020, we are told. Folks, a lot of development, very huge milestones in the port industry happened this week. One in the port of TAKORADI and another in the port of TEMA, where I am standing. Let's begin from the oil-rich region, that's the western region. TAKORADI port this week witnessed a very important milestone, the concession agreement between Jean de Noul as well as Ibestek company, which is wholly Ghanaian company that's involved in port development, signed a contract. They have agreed that officially beginning January, they are starting the expansion works at TAKORADI.
Ibestek Ghana Limited, the only indigenous and wholly Ghanaian company engaged in port infrastructure development globally, has finally signed an engineering, procurement and construction contract with an international marine engineering firm, Jean de Noul, for physical construction of the first phase of the multi-purpose container terminal in TAKORADI called the Atlantis Terminal. The legally binding contract was secured when the contract was signed by the chairman of Ibestek Limited, Kwame Jan, and a representative of Jean de Noul, Filippo Moro, to allow construction works to commence immediately. The Minister for Transport, Kweku Yisiama, said the expansion of the port of TAKORADI will open up the port for more businesses.
You cannot develop your country when you don't have basic infrastructures. And port infrastructure, so far, the whole world is concerned. It's key. It is only in Ghana that you've turned our back to our marines. The Scandinavian countries have developed purely because of their marine. They don't have any infrastructure. They've taken advantage of it. And we think that the time has come for Africa to take advantage of our marine. And as part of our taking advantage of our marine waters, it's the expansion of our port project.
Chairman of Ibestek Limited, Kwame Jan, said the beginning of the project construction is an indication that, when given the opportunity, Ghanaians can play a major role in the development of port infrastructure and facilities.
Now, this is the first time an indigenous company has been given a concession to partner with the local port authority to develop a port which will be owned by Ghanaians. So that in itself is a landmark. And what it also means is that one day Ghanaians should also go to the neighboring countries and participate in port development there. Because if you can build your capacity at home, you can transplant or transfer the capacity to the West African neighborhood. So
Ibestek and Jean de Noul getting into that contract there, and beginning January, the construction works for the expansion of TAKORADI port commences, just as it has already commenced in the port of TEMA and almost completing at the port of TEMA. By June 2019, the expanded TEMA port would have been ready. Now, this week, another milestone in the port of TEMA. Those cranes over there, the cranes, those heavy cranes there, a number of cranes were brought into this port, getting ready for operations in June.
The TEMA Port Expansion Project has been given a major boost as Meridian Port Services Limited takes delivery of the first batch of 4 ship-to-shore and 8 electric rubber-tie gantry cranes at the TEMA Port Expansion Project site, about 6 months before the completion of the first phase of that project. The cranes have an associated technology components, including the software that controls all the drives such as hoisting gear, gantry and trolley gear, among others. Meridian Port Services Limited, MPS, is a consortium made up of 3 major organizations as shareholders: the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, AP Molo Terminals, and Bolore Transport and Logistics. The new MPS terminal, when completed and operations commence at the port of TEMA, is widely expected to be operating the biggest and most efficient container terminal in West and Central Africa. Recorded as the largest fleet ever acquired by West Africa in the port industry, the cranes are of superior quality and the highest technology. The ship-to-shore cranes are superposed Panamax with 65-meter outreach capable of handling containers on board vessels up to 23 rows and 10 on deck, while the electric rubber tie gantries are capable of stacking containers 7 wide and 1/5 high in the container yards. These cranes are also designed in a friendly manner to make work comfortable for operators, while they are expected to be installed at the new facility and be fully operational in June 2019 when the new port goes live.
The big cranes will be discharged directly on the rail that you see over here, while the rubber tire cranes will be discharged on their wheels, and then they will roll into position within the yard. We have fitted the yard with bus bars, and the power station is under commissioning, so basically we are all good for a good start and on time.
This very vessel that is coming, a lot of safety and navigational exercise went through.
The TEMA Metropolitan Chief Executive, Felix Monsami Alanga, expressed excitement about the arrival of the cranes.
So, folks, somewhere in October 2016, the TEMA port expansion works began, and by June 2019, around 3 years or so, the first phase of 2 berths will be completed and work will commence, and that's what you are seeing here. A lot of boulders are still being dropped into that the breakwater there. They are still putting finishing touches, and the contractors continue to say that they are on schedule. We will continue to update you on everything that happened, including what is happening also in TAKORADI port. So we'll be bringing you all the update only on this platform. Folks, let's move away from the expansion and the construction works. Now, if you look at the huge nature of the projects that's going on within the port industry, that should tell you of what significance it is to the national economy. In some countries like Singapore, Denmark and co, they have taken the ports like all they have. You know, like their agriculture, their mineral resources and everything. It's the same way Ghana is beginning to see the ports. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, for that matter, continue to ensure that they gather all the knowledge by interacting with other agencies and other stakeholders to know what to do and also spell out their vision. Now, this time around, the Director General of the Ports and Harbours Authority, Mr. Michael Luguje, as well as his lieutenants, have met media gurus in the country. Take a listen.
Ports all over the world are considered to be a major national asset, sometimes rated beyond mineral resources. Several countries have leveraged their port facilities to leap from developing to develop, and developed ones have also solidified their positions with their port facilities. In view of this, the managers of Ghana's Ports and Harbours Authority always make an effort to interact with important stakeholders in the governance of the nation to share their vision and solicit support in the management of the nation's ports to aid Ghana's development. This year, the acting Director General and senior managers of the port met with media managers, editors and senior journalists of repute to explain their vision for the port industry and exchange ideas on issues pertaining to the port industry in Ghana.
You are our strategic partners. We appreciate that, and throughout the year, we have worked with you, and we know that you are key stakeholders in whatever we do.
This year's interaction brought together notable media managers like the MD of Atenka Media Group, Albert Jumfo, General Manager of Chronicle, Ebo Kwanza, General Manager of Metro TV, William Asari, editors and directors of news including Ransford Tete of the Daily Graphic, David Agbenu of the Ghanaian Times, Ebenezer Mpabing of Ghana Television, Wafa Keke or Kwabna Kwache of Oman FM, Nana Abba Namo of GH1, Matilda Haynes of TV3, Kwame Nkrumah of OKFM, Nanaya Kunedu and Yao Bing Menu of Peace FM, Peter Sereni of Metro TV, Alhaji Gomdar and Fortuna Limi of Daily Guide, Richard Delasky of City FM, Larry Dogbe, Bismarck Brown, Gordon Asari Bidiako, among others. Other senior journalists who interacted with the Director General included Paul Adomochri, Samson Ladia Yinene, Randy Abbey, Kwame Sifakai, Ken Cranche, Andy Kankam, Achena Brintio, and a host of others. Also present was the reigning journalist of the year, Bernard Kokuwavle of City FM, and the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, Dr. Afil Moni. The acting director general of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Michael Luguje, together with management of GPHA, thanked the top echelon of journalists for their support for the year 2018 and also spelled out his vision for the authority in the coming year 2019. Michael Luguje revealed that the two ports of Ghana performed significantly better between January and October 2018 compared to the same period in 2017.
For us as a port authority, we are excited that the figures show that we are growing. And the port authority mirrors the national economy. So if you see cargo volumes growing through the port, there is a very direct correlation that the national economy too is generating some results.
Michael Luguje said great strides have been made in making Ghana's ports the leading trade and logistics hub within the West African sub-region.
This is a project that is going to be able to receive the biggest container ships. Today, our existing facility can take maximum a container ship that carries about 4,500 containers. The current terminal. This one, when completed, can take up to 8,000, 10,000 containers ships.
The GPHA boss also highlighted progress on some impending projects of the port.
The new baby, the Keta port. For us as a port authority, we are very excited to be able to count many more ports under our jurisdiction. But the Keta project is more exciting because we are looking forward to it. You know, a lot of economies grow around ports. The port attracts quite a lot of business. We are looking forward to getting this port also creating a whole economy around it in the Volta area, just as the other ports have done.
The senior journalist also probed on some of the current issues in the port and maritime industry.
I want to find out why is the TAKORADI port not doing well when it comes to transit cargo.
The trade attractiveness of the region. And that's why we are happy that oil has been discovered in the western region. So TAKORADI now is getting more and more attractive. If you look at over the years, the volumes are increasing a lot now through TAKORADI.
I want to know what accounts for the 10% shortfall in the implementation of the paperless port process at the harbour.
Port Authority runs a system to a point, which ends where our responsibility ends. Customs also runs to another point. Now you need to integrate the two. That integration phase, we are not experts. Some people have to help us do that. And those are the missing links that are making us rate the paperless project at 90% best.
TEMA shipyard, are there any specifics as to this is the stage we have reached? We have contacted social number of companies and they have expressed interest.
The Ministry of Transport has set quite very, very realistic targets. I think they've gone through a lot. They've done a whole lot of bidding process. They are evaluating about 4 or 5 bids now to be able to pick the best.
Now I want to know, some time ago we heard that some private people were, sort of constructing a port somewhere in the water region at the blind side of the government of Ghana and GPHA. I want to know whether that is the port that is going to be the Keta port.
Where they were doing the illegal port is not the current location of the Keta port. But that project itself, that illegal project, has been stopped.
The president of the Ghana Journalists Association expressed excitement about the annual ritual initiated by GPHA to solicit opinion of journalists in governing port business and building the needed relations for national development.
We have listened and we have been educated beyond measure about the strides GPHA is making. The point can hardly be articulated that GPHA is a huge strategic asset, spinning jobs and creating wealth. It is therefore of strategic necessity for GPHA and the media to build stronger bridges of collaboration to ensure the nation's economic upswing.
A minute's silence was observed for departed souls of media personalities who have consistently been part of the previous annual interaction, like Alhaji Bature Idrisu and Kwabena Asare Bafwe Champong, popularly known as Kaba.
So all the members of the media fraternity that matter in this country were there at that interactive section with the Director General of the Port Authority, and that should tell you how important the entire country view the port industry. Now, away from what the DG did in TEMA as well as in TAKORADI, the various directors of those ports also engaged correspondents of the media houses in those two areas.
In a related development, the director of TEMA Port, Edward Kofi Osei, with the support of the acting director general of GPHA, have also engaged reporters of the TEMA regional reporters of the various media networks in Ghana to brief them on the state of Ghana's ports and their future. The director of TEMA Port, Edward Kofi Osei, said the port of TEMA recorded an increase in cargo traffic as well as an improvement in transit trade.
Cargo traffic has gone up to 13 million tons from 11 million tons last year. Our transit cargo, which means that the cargo that we send to countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, has gone up from 1 million tons last year to 1.2 million tons.
He said the port of TEMA is committed to attaining its vision of becoming the container hub of West Africa.
We are looking forward to a gigantic project called MPS, which all of you have heard of, that we hope will position us to become the hub of West Africa.
The acting director general, Michael Lugoje, mentioned that GPHA entered into a strong partnership with IBISTEC under a concession agreement signed between the two in 2017 to develop a multi-purpose port terminal facility. He said physical construction of such projects commences in January 2019.
TAKORADI is seeing massive infrastructure development with private sector participation, with agent entities like IBISTEC. And then in TEMA, we are all looking forward to the MPS 3 container terminal, which is going to give our port of TEMA, just as the director mentioned to you, one of the state-of-the-art container terminals in modern times.
He also responded to a number of concerns raised by the reporters.
The oil rig that has been sitting there for a number of years, when are we going to see to the disposal?
The court has taken over the rig and had to auction it out to be able to pay the debts owed by all parties that provided service to that rig.
A CSR project to help the Ghana Police Service relocate to Community 7. Is that still on the drawing board? And when do you plan to fix or move them out of where they are now to their permanent sites at Community 7?
The Port Authority hasn't abandoned that idea. We are exploring it. We are looking at all the options available.
Meanwhile, management of the port of TAKORADI, led by the director of TAKORADI Port, Captain Ebenezer Afedzi, has also engaged journalists in the oil city of TAKORADI. The engagement was to strengthen the ties between journalists in the oil city and the port of TAKORADI. He said the port of TAKORADI performed significantly better in 2018 than it did in 2017.
For 2017, cargo throughput as at October was 6.6 million tons, and as at October this year, we've done 7.26 million tons. In 2018, we've done a lot. We've been able to add 200 meters of key wall to the new bulk jetty, bringing the total of the new bulk jetty key wall to 600 meters.
Iron Port is proudly brought to you by Ghana Oil Company Limited, West Blue Consulting, and Ghana Community Network Services. Media partner is the Business and Financial Times, as well as the Daily Graphic. Maritime and Transport Digest will be back shortly after the break.
I thank you all very much for the opportunity, and God bless you all.
Hip 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 hooray! Merry Christmas! Hip 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 hooray!
Ya mama afishapa o.
Hip 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 hooray!
Samantha Wendy. I am sending a purchase order from SA2 Ventures International. Our policy for new supplies is 2 containers to start with, but you must deliver within 30 days.
Don't worry at all. I'm going to get you the 4 containers within 30 days or less.
To get his pineapple slices from his country to his clients overseas, Mr. Appiah and his representatives have to complete a number of regulatory compliance procedures to various international trade stakeholders.
Hey, Baba, what's going on? Can't you right? I mean, how?
Using single window, Mr. Appiah has completed all his international trade procedures through one portal. He has registered his company information, applied for the necessary permit, certificates and licenses, and all that remains is for him to get a text alert for clearance and movement of goods. And that's how simple facilitating international trade could be in a single window environment. You can offer competitive services to your trading partners in China, America, even here in a simpler, faster, and cost-effective way. Single window, the only way to Ghana's economic growth is in our hands.
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
Welcome back from the break. You're still watching Eye on Port. And next up, local news and activities happening around the port and maritime industry, including a final stakeholder engagement by the TEMA Fishing Harbour.
Management of the TEMA Fishing Harbour has held its last quarter stakeholder meeting for 2018 to look at progress made in the year and challenges that can be resolved for a better future. The fourth quarter meeting was used to discuss progress made during the year 2018 at the Fishing Harbour, especially with regards to sanitation and infrastructure that needs to be built or improved upon.
We've also replaced 7 of the spoiled hydrants.
The general manager of the TEMA Fishing Harbour said from March 2019, all payments at the Fishing Harbour will be automated as part of a strategic agenda to streamline their operations.
We are saying that by March next year, it will be compulsory for a lot of the payments or almost all the payments to be made by electronic means, or the processes, it will be automated.
In a related development, management and staff of the TEMA Fishing Harbour has held its end-of-year get-together to reflect on activities for 2018 as well as map out strategies for 2019. The general manager of the TEMA Fishing Harbour, Kumi Ajay-Sam, thanked the staff of the Fishing Harbour for their support and urged them to work hard in the coming year so as to position the TEMA Fishing Harbour as a modern world-class fishing harbour.
International port news next.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Poland has reported that the 11 seafarers who were kidnapped from MV Pomeranian Sky in October 2018 off the Nigerian coast have been released. The ministry thanked the ship owner, Germany's Peter Dolly Schifffahrt, as well as Nigeria's authority for cooperation on the matter. It was reported earlier that a group of pirates boarded the container ship and seized 11 crew members of Nigeria early on October 27, 2018, making it the 5th kidnapping of Poles in the Gulf of Guinea since 2013. The Cruise Lines International Association has announced that the cruise industry has committed to reduce the rate of carbon emissions across the industry fleet by 40% by 2030. Progress toward the 40% target will be measured against a 2008 fleet baseline, and emissions rates will be calculated based on the industry fleet's total carbon emissions, total ship berths, and total distance traveled. Spain's Supreme Court in Madrid upheld the ruling that the insurer and the captain of the Prestige oil tanker are to pay 1.6 billion euros, an equivalent of 1.8 billion US dollars, in compensation for spilling oil. Under the final ruling handed down on December 20, the captain of the ill-fated tanker Apostolos Ioannis Mangouras and the marine insurer, the London P&I Club, are to pay 1.57 billion euros in damages to Spain and another 61 million euros to France. The Supreme Court confirmed the ruling by the Provincial Court of Coruna, a northwestern city in Spain, made in November 2017.
I thank you all very much for the opportunity, and God bless you all.
Hey, I'm going to here. I'm just here to come.
Hip, 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 hooray! Merry Christmas!
Hip, 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 hooray! La maman affiche à pas ou... Hip, 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 hooray!
Here's innovation from Goyle that takes you further. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and Goyle has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New Goyle Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. Goyle. Good energy.
Schedules of vessels that are sitting in the port of TEMA, in the port of TAKORADI, at the fishing harbour, those at Anchorage, also those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates that you need to know to clear your goods out of the port are all next on your screens. So it's getting to the end of the year, and we will continue to say a big thank you to all our sponsors, Goyle, West Blue, GCNet, for supporting this program. Also the media partners, we say a big thank you to you, and all those in the port and maritime industry, the players, the pundits, everyone, we say a big thank you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance to all of you. will surely be bringing you updates of the happenings around the port and maritime industry. Thanks a lot to the executive producers of this program, Madam Abna Sewa Opokufosu and Madam Esther Jebidonko. Thanks for watching.